Yeah, I'm coming to it. That's interesting.
Alright everyone, welcome to another fabulous episode of Spooky Come. Tonight we have amazing musical guest, Britt Gustafsson.
Hello, hello.
Welcome Britt, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm actually feeling pretty British tonight, honestly.
Our amazing British friend, Britt Gustafsson, is here to regale us with the tales of the country that kicked us out. So Britt, how are you, and how does it feel to have kicked all of Australia out of Britain?
It's pretty great, actually.
Is this Spreaker?
Yeah, it's a little Spreaker.
Are you in college?
What's wrong with Spreaker?
I will show you the comic that points out that what your drink says about you is that if you drink Svedka, you're in college. And you're like 10 years past college, man.
I don't think our listeners can really hear what you're talking about. They can't really hear the comic strip, so I'm not sure that they would enjoy it.
Well, I'm not showing it to you at the moment either. I'm just explaining it to you.
Okay, we'll go on.
It's on the comic site, the comical site. Betches love this, and it exists, and it's a recent comic. You can go and check it out for yourself. BETCECHESLOVETHIS. Betches love this.
Don't worry, we'll put it on the podcast website. Really.
Yeah, we'll put it on the podcast website, which doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist, but we'll put it on the
We'll put it on there. So anyway, we've got the first thing is first. My train story, which I've been waiting all night to celebrate about, just so I could also save it for you listeners. The thing that I have to say about this story is that it makes me sad about race relations in America, because I worry that they're worse off than I thought. So I take a little girl downtown sometimes, and I was getting on the train to come back, and as I got on the train, a gentleman approached the conductor and said, you know, that there was a girl on her phone loudly in the quiet car. And the quiet car is a special set-apart car of the train where you're not allowed to be loud. And it's wonderful for 80-year-olds and also me.
You are kind of a special kind of 80-year-old. Yeah.
I don't want people to talk to me on the train. I'm not there for bloody socialising. I'm there, you know, to get some reading done, usually. And if someone's real loud, it's real annoying. So it's rush hour and this girl is just honking. She's honking on her cell phone, just blah, 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 blah. And unfortunately, I made the bad decision to sit directly in front of her because when I get on a train, I just like try and take the first chair that's available and sit there. And that's what happened with this one. And so she's going on, and then like I knew at this point that a few people had already commented because like the whole train was super focused on her. And this old guy comes up and he's got his, you know, 1992 cell phone, and he's trying to take a picture of her with it. And he's like laughing because like at this point, like what else are you gonna do? This bitch has totally ruined our piece, and there's nothing else. So he's like laughing and taking this picture, but he's like this tiny old man, mind you, just a little tiny old man. And this girl, who couldn't have been any older than me, she must have been about 25, she stands up and she smacks the phone out of his hand. And she starts screaming at him that she's going to sue him, and also that does he want to effing shove her, and she'll effing shove him back. And the whole time this little old man is just kind of laughing and trying to diffuse the situation, and he's like, well, if you want to chat on the train this loud, expect to attract some attention. And she was not having it, and she was trying to start a physical
Altercation?
A physical altercation with this tiny old gentleman. So, you know, the conductors were on it quickly, and they said, you know, we've asked you to stop talking on your phone. We know at least 3 customers have asked you, because they've also told us that you're talking on your phone very loudly, and this is the quiet car, so could you please just move cars? Or stop talking on your phone. You know, and she's like, absolutely not. Definitely not going to do that. and you can't make me, and this is racism. And that was confusing to me at that point. Because
what
I didn't understand, wouldn't it have been racism to act as if she was any different than anyone else?
What race was she?
She was black.
Oh, this is racism.
This is racism.
This is racism.
But it was confusing, you know.
You Australians are quite.
I had no idea that we were.
Quite racist. Oh yeah, they used to hunt the Aboriginals, which are typically.
I never did, and I've never hunted black people either.
They
I think that's a pretty weird concept. People hunting other people.
For sport.
It sounds really scary. That's like the scariest thing. I would not want a person hunting me.
Until the 70s, I think it was the 70s, they were still hunting Aboriginals.
Well, you just hate British. This is racism. You hate Australians because you're British.
Xenophobism? That's not racism, okay? Okay.
Well, I was taking a sip of my beer, but I'm going to continue with my story because it gets better. So she refuses, and she actually ends up in a screaming match with the conductor himself, demanding that he take the man who tried to take a picture of her off the train and to arrest him. She was fully clothed, by the way, in very nice clothing, like all North Face and like fancy jeans.
Was there any doubt about the fact that she was fully clothed?
Well, I mean, that would be the only reason I could think of if you get mad at someone for trying to take a picture of you.
Oh, gotcha.
But anyway, I mean, yeah, I don't know, it was weird. And so now they're screaming at each other, and finally the conductor just says, "Bah!" and like throws his arms up in a very like, you know, funny fashion, and walks into the middle of the train cars to make a call, which was obviously to the police at that point. So at this point, she then picks up her phone and says, "I'm gonna have to call you back." But I mean, she doesn't say it that quickly. She's like telling him this whole story about how there's racism and how she's not able to talk right now and blah blah blah, and eventually she gets off the phone. And then I hear her turn up the volume on her phone as loud as it'll go. And at that point, she also apparently switches her text message ring to be that like boo 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 thing that plays when you first start up your phone. So every time she gets a text message, it's like this epic, like boo 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 thing.
Sounds delightful, yeah.
And she also turns up all of her keys so that every time she hits a button, it's like beep, 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 like, whoa. And then she starts texting furiously and like throwing her head back and laughing a lot, intensely, and muttering under her breath about the racism. Mind you, I'm less than 4 feet away from this person the entire time, and I'm just looking ahead like, oh my god, I'm gonna wet my pants laughing about this later when I'm able to laugh and when it's not all scary. So eventually we pull into Highland Park, and we take a really long time at the stop because the train conductors are talking to the policemen. They eventually come in and attempt to apprehend this girl, and she is not having it. She is not having it. And I'd like to point out again that she's young, pretty, well-dressed. Like, this isn't some weird, like, crazy Catwoman. This is, like, what appears to be a well-adjusted human being.
Well,
by all appearances.
by all appearances, yeah.
Well, she must spend a lot of time on her appearances, all I'm saying. And, like, why do all that if you're just going to act that way? So, the policemen who were both men of colour, we'd like to say that. Is that a thing? Well, anyway, they were. And she kept saying that they were racist, and they were like, "We're really not, though. I mean, we've given you, like, lots of chances, and you've had so, like, this is just so confusing. Like, move cars. That's all you had to do, but you lost that chance when you, like, threatened the conductor. So you're coming off the train, or you're getting a ticket for trespassing."
So what you're trying to say is that if you were in Australia, you would have haunted her, pretty much.
Well, no, because
yes,
I don't think
you would.
That's not a thing.
That was a thing.
That's not my thing.
Well, you're Australian, so...
So anyway, eventually, the only reason that they can get her off the train, she keeps telling them that they have to drive her home if they make her get off the train, and they're like, "No, you were a dick. You don't deserve to be on the train anymore. You have to figure out your own way home," or whatever. And so eventually they did get her off of the train. And at that point, I realized that she had a very large, clear garbage bag, which confused me so intensely.
Perplexing,
It was. It was full of things. I have no idea what any of them were. But I mean, like, even her vest alone had to be $150. Why was she walking around with a garbage bag? So that's my train story. And I appreciate all of your comments during it. And we are now moving on.
Well, we're going to cheers to the crazy lady there.
All right, we're going to cheers to the crazy girl.
And for you kids at home that are playing the drinking game, this would be also a good time to take a drink as well. Yeah. In addition to the other drinking game.
Absolutely. The Spajisicum drinking game. If you have milk and cookies near you, you can also dunk with your milk and cookies.
Take a few dunks, yeah?
Take a few dunks. So Brett's Australia stuff. Brett went to Australia, apparently.
Oh, yeah, spent some time there. Fucking Australians, yeah. I don't really want to get into it. It's a little bit of a sore subject for me.
Language, Brett.
Oh, yeah. That FCC either. Crazy.
This is a family show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alright, well that was a terrible story. Let's talk about how good is New Girl. That's the next thing on our agenda. I enjoy New Girl. My only drawback with New Girl is when episodes focus a little too much on Jess.
Yeah, I mean, most of them do, though, right?
No, I wouldn't say they do. There are like more Jess-centric episodes, and there are more like Schmidt-centric episodes, and we certainly like the Schmidt-centric episodes.
There's some Nick ones, but yeah, Winston's the
anomaly.
The anomaly, yeah.
He once had that really boring episode about his girlfriend that wore sweatpants that they weren't fornicating enough for his liking.
All of his episodes are terrible too.
Terribly boring.
Like, I can't even remember what happens in them because they're so boring.
They are very boring. I did enjoy the greatest episode of New Girl ever, where this season they played True American and we got to see a little bit more of the rules of True American.
Yeah.
And Nick and Jess like kiss at the end, and it's like the hottest of kisses. And also, Dr. Sam is there for like a second, and like Winston gets that girl by being like kind of like really overtly nervous and shy. Yeah. Which was a little boring, but like I still was like I was following, you know, because I know dudes that are like that shy about things. They're a little awkward. So that's a real thing, despite how silly and overplayed it was, like over the top, I should say. It's really hard to capture an awkwardness of a moment on television, I think. Like you can like make super buggy eyes and like play a silly noise like in a reality show where it's like spring noise. Boing. Like it doesn't feel like that in real life. There's no spring noises. You're just like suddenly racked with this terrible impending feeling of doom.
It sounds like you got quite a story here about what really happened to you. What happened with the whole awkwardness?
What, you've never felt awkward?
The shy people that you were referring to?
No, I mean like you've never felt awkward.
Oh no, all the time.
Alright, then I mean, have they ever properly represented it on television?
They did at the moment, apparently.
No, I'm saying they did not.
Oh yeah, see, I'm not really listening. I'm doing my own little work over here.
What are you doing over here?
Oh, well, I was looking up the Aboriginal or Indigenous Australian massacres.
Well, you're a dick.
Yeah.
Alright, so how is The Office this season?
That Office. It's
final season.
It's pretty good, yeah. They really turned it around there.
They did.
Yeah.
It's been a great season so far.
Yeah.
You recently asked me when Pam got on cue, and I was wondering if you ever got to the bottom of that.
Well, I'm trying to decide if it's a personality. My accent is kind of going in and out. It's a little bit confusing for me. I'm having a little bit of an identity crisis over here.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
It happens all the time, especially to those frogs that like sometimes have a dick, but sometimes don't have a dick.
Yeah, touche. That's quite a point there. You got going there?
Sometimes they have both. Pen and an envelope. That's gross. So anyway.
So what I was saying though, is it after season 2 when she becomes like less innocent?
After season 2?
Season 2, season 3.
Because she kissed Jim.
Not even that. Just
that's the only uninnocent thing she did.
No, but she was always kind of innocent, standing behind the desk there and like making jokes. But still, when she becomes a salesperson, for example.
Salesperson isn't until season 5.
I know. I was just thinking about season 2 because I just saw it. But further on, is it because she has more of a character and she's less of? Yeah.
Well, I definitely think that they flesh out every character, and what I ended up really appreciating about Pam, and what I really like about this, is that you can go back to every episode she's ever been in, and it tests true, is that she'll be put in a really weird, terrible situation, and she'll roll with it. For example, the wheel. Remember the chore wheel?
Yeah.
She does all this work, and she makes this big wheel to satisfy everyone, and everyone hates it.
That's a good point.
And so she comes back and she says, all right, so they hated that. They're right. It's not that fun. I'm going to fix it. And she keeps fixing it until she tricks them into loving the tiny chore wheel. Remember when Meredith's like, cleaning the bathroom? She like leaves, and it's great. And if you go back, you notice that she's a really good sport the whole way through. I don't think she was ever that innocent. I think she's just a quiet person.
Yeah.
And that you have to pay attention to her to realise things about her.
There's an innocence to not knowing about her, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're just watching the troll wheel.
Brett is watching the troll.
Troll
Why did you call it the troll?
I call it the troll wheel.
Oh, your accent's just terrible.
Oh, it's terrible, yeah.
Anyway,
back to business.
Back to business.
Back to podcast business.
How good is Girls? That's a real question. How good is it?
How good is it? It's pretty good, yeah.
Alright.
Wait, why do you say it like that?
I say it like that because it's a real question. The other ones weren't so much questions.
You don't think it's good?
No, I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
But when it's bad, it's really bad. For example...
So which episode did you not like the most?
I really didn't like this last one.
There's a few that you didn't really like.
That's true. It's happened quite a few times. Mainly in this second season.
Very inconsistent, yeah.
This second season has been very hit or miss for me. The first season, every episode I liked. Going back, I have trouble watching the one where she goes home to Michigan, only because I feel like it's a little self-indulgent, despite the fact that Lena Dunham herself never actually lived the life that she portrays Hannah as having. And I think maybe that's part of it, is it's like her fantasy of what like a normal person would have going back home, and it didn't strike me as being as real as a lot of the other moments have struck me as being.
Right.
Although, I have to say, and I agree with Betches Love this, in their most recent critique, no, second to most recent, where Jessa goes home in a similar type episode, which is that, unlike with Sex in the City, I can't see these girls being friends in real life at all, for any reason, ever. But maybe that's part of being a girl, is like you kind of get stuck together, like Hannah and Marnie. You know, they're friends from being young, and Marnie sometimes says, like, Hannah, she's like a thumb. I can't even imagine her. I can't even imagine life without her. She's just like part of things. And then Jessa is cousins with Shoshana, although I have no idea why Shoshana knows anyone. Let's be real about that.
Yeah, it's unexpected, but...
Like, if Shoshana had been more of a person that, like, Hannah could actually hang out with or stand, like...
Right.
Then I would get it, but I don't get it in the current sense of things. Because then, like, Jessa would just sort of be an extension, like, oh, well, my cousin's here, I love her, we all have to be friends with her. But no, I think it was Jessa and Hannah that were friends. I don't think that Jessa likes Hannah in the least.
Well, can we talk about the fact that Adam's the best character on the show?
Adam's absolutely the best character on the show. I think every girl in America that watches the show that doesn't like football is into Adam. That's a legitimate claim.
Yeah. Yeah, but you wouldn't actually want to be with him in the end. I mean, he's very flawed too, but... very interesting.
I don't know why you're saying I wouldn't want to be with him.
Really?
I never said that.
No, I said it. It was me. That was just my opinion.
Why do you think that? That's an interesting opinion.
Well, first of all, he didn't want Hannah from the beginning, as you said most recently, right?
He didn't, but I mean, what guy meets a girl and is instantly just like, oh, I'm going to spend my life with you? Like, sometimes you have to get used to a person.
No, that's true, right? And people grow on him. But he's kind of a dick to her.
In the beginning, no.
A little bit.
You feel like he is because you've got this weird skewed perspective. Hannah never asked. Hannah never asked anything of him. She just kept showing up
Right.
and presenting the situation as though, like, I'm here, let's bone, and I don't want anything else. And then suddenly, she comes and shows up on his doorstep crying like a total psycho.
Right.
And he kisses her instead of, like, being like, oh my god, fuck off. Sorry. He should have, though. Because, oh my god, if someone did that to me, I would not be happy about that. And, you know, I thought it was nice of him to roll with all of it.
Yeah, true.
Much like Pam rolls with things. He's not like Pam, though.
No, he's
I'm
not.
not saying that.
He's not got Pam.
No. Alright, so good. Homeland is definitely a terrible show. Edie Butts, what's next?
Well, we just go back a moment there.
To
went to Homeland.
Edie.
Oh, no, the
The
Butts.
Edie part of Edie Butts?
Not the Butts part either, actually. Can we go back to Homeland? For a
To
moment?
girls? You want to talk? You had more to say?
Yeah, I had more to say about the girls in Homeland.
Oh.
Yeah. Most of Claire Danes. I didn't think I liked Claire Danes before Homeland, but for some reason, yeah.
You didn't like her in Little Women. You didn't like her in Romeo and Juliet.
I didn't see Little Women, and she was okay. Romeo and Juliet.
Well, we're going to play some Little Women soundtrack at that.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. You'll actually legitimately like it. It's great. I mean, it's no Carly Rae, but...
I'm a bit skeptical. Oh, no, not Carly Rae.
Oh, you're over Carly Rae now.
I haven't heard of it, no.
No, I mean, you're still yourself. You just have an accent.
Yeah, no. Neither of us have heard of it. Me and myself. No.
I've heard of it.
Well,
I've
wait,
seen
accent
it many times. I don't know what you're talking about, actually.
Oh, okay.
Boop, 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 boop. Alright, so the next thing on our list
Edie Butts, we didn't really go over that. So
is Edie Butts.
What is next for Edie Butts? Excuse me.
Can you say that again?
What's next for Edie Butts?
Yeah, the next thing for Edie Butts
Edie Butts.
is greatness.
Greatness, yeah.
Beyond what it's already accomplished. Edie Butts is the greatest restaurant that has ever existed. It's so, you know, it's so avant-garde and like cutting edge and like hip and like it's basically like peanut butter in the middle of a room of ants.
Was it ants women like raisins or like ants? Like ants on a log?
No, I mean like your mother's sister.
Oh, touche. She's doing pretty well, by the way.
Good. She loves peanut butter, right?
Oh, don't I know it.
Like if you put a bit of peanut butter in a room and there were a bunch of her in that room, madness would ensue.
Oh,
I can
indeed.
almost guarantee it.
Oh, indeed.
So the next thing that I'd like to talk about is naming the rooms. The room that we're currently in, I think we agreed is the dining office.
Oh, I thought you said it was the leather daddy room.
This is the dining office. Over there is the leather daddy.
Oh yeah, the leather daddy.
It's because of the leather couch.
Oh, of course. But
And also there's another small leather chair.
I think it's kind of redundant that you said it's because of the leather couch, because everyone knows that.
Right. There's a room nearby with a leather couch, and we're thinking about calling it Leather Daddy.
Yeah.
It's mainly an Arrested Development
Reference?
reference.
Yeah. But also, I mean, it's fitting.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cutting edge over there. The beige leather. The
copper.
there's a rug.
Yeah.
There's also a bunch of VHSs.
And a guitar.
And a guitar and an amp and a kind of, great little leather chair. It's a wonderful place, except that it doesn't have a television or a computer, so we never go in there ever for any reason except to sleep.
It also doesn't have an official name yet, so...
Except for Leather Daddy.
Well, is it official?
I think it's official.
Oh, okay. Well, then we officially have a name for it. Cheers to that. Cheers.
That's what we do on the show.
No, we're cheers.
Alright, well, cheers too,
Yeah.
but
So-
you're also supposed to smack the table and
dunk
an
your
accomplishment happens.
Dunk your cookies. Like Jeff
Dunk
Winger.
your cookies!
We're like Jeff Winger, and every time we do something... Can we talk about Community a little bit?
We could definitely talk about Community.
I feel like my drink. What do you think of this season?
Well, I'm a bit torn. It's like...
What's it like?
It's like when you see a picture of transvestite genitalia. It's like everything...
How many pictures of transvestite genitalia?
Well, this one time, Ryan Driscoll made us look at
it sounds about
pictures of transvestite genitalia.
How do they look? Also, for you younger viewers out there, you should probably turn on the music, right? Oh, the podcast right now?
Right. Well, because Ryan said that he was looking at this for some weird reason.
Wait,
And
you
he
said
said-
transvestite, but you meant to say transsexual.
As transsexual.
Yeah.
He said that he felt that it looked like scenery in a play. Well, you know what it's supposed to be. You get it. You get what you're supposed to imagine is there. And you accept it for the story. But there's just something about it
Oh, Jesus.
that it just, it's not real. And that's how I feel about this season of Community, is that I feel like it's not... I feel like it's that weird scenery in a play where those are leaves. Okay. There's a trunk. And, Jeff's kind of self-centered, and Shirley likes baking, and Troy and Abed enjoy pop culture. But I don't enjoy it the same way at all.
The show's never the same after it comes back, I feel like. I mean, it was cancelled, right?
It wasn't ever officially cancelled.
But, I mean-
Dan Harmon, the creator, was fired.
They tried to
It's like firing somebody's mother.
They tried to cancel it, though. I mean, it was pretty much effectively
Right.
cancelled, and then, they brought it back. So, I mean, that is... Yeah, it's not going to be the same. And Dan Harmon, yeah, all that.
It's difficult.
It's quite difficult. And it goes to your head when people clamour for you so much after you're cancelled.
Well, how did Dan Harmon... No, I mean, he was let go. He has nothing to do with the show anymore. That's why it's so weird.
Right, but also, I mean, if there was such an outreach from the community that likes...
Community?
likes community, yeah, that I think that was the head, too.
Yeah. I don't think I'm on board with you on this one.
Oh,
I don't think that, there wasn't that, there was a small fan base that was totally obsessed, but it wasn't like a national, phenomenon where, country kids were getting, Brita snow cones.
it wasn't like that whole sopa thing.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think we've come to the conclusion that Community is not as good
No.
as it was. And that's unfortunate. And we have a minute left. So let's get our closing thoughts. First closing thought. Trains are weird. Your turn.
Oh, no, that's all I got. That's weird.
Trains, your next closing thought on something else.
Oh, no, I got nothing.
We have the agenda right there. Some opinion.
Really, it's about Spreaker and how it's not just for college kids anymore, because obviously I'm setting the trend.
Well, that article was posted about a week ago, so you think you're in college, Brit?
No, it's not really there. I mean, they're not really catching up with the trend yet.
Maybe not.
They're
Maybe
a little bit
not.
behind, yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
So anyway, Brett thinks he's in college. And we have about 4 seconds. So we love you. Don't mess with the bus and the bus mess with us. Goodbye.
Oh, I was just going to listen to his live. It's still